It's the foundation for research development. Like many other universities, it is a tech transfer function where we translate the research and inventions that come out of the research and we translate it into products and services for the public good. That's our main purpose. Yeah, this Ray Greenberg, in formulating the strategic plan for MUSC, realized that innovation is now being a bigger part of both research, both education, and also patient care. So those three things that all medical centers are involved with. And the reason is we're seeing a change in how faculty and how research is being done. It's gone from doing research for research's sake, now being more applied. We have a new generation of faculty that are more interested in purpose, and they want to see their stuff out there. They want to see their stuff in research commercialized. They're more active in wanting to contribute as opposed to just getting papers and doing things like they've done maybe in the past in traditional research institutions. One of our researchers, Dr. Barb Rohr, is in the Division of Ophthalmology, and she had a good idea for a drug to treat macular degeneration. And as she looked at this potential drug, she got mentored by one of our board of directors. She and Craig Beeson formed a company, and now they went out and with FRD help and others' help have raised money and are now in the process in a phase 2 trial to move that drug to market. So this is one that's taken like 5 or 6 years, but is a good example of how a researcher through a discovery has decided I want to take this and use industry and use funding to get this out into the mainstream. Sure, I gave you the purpose that we want to get things translated for the public good, but out of that comes us servicing the faculty to get this done. The other part is we need industry relationships because we can't do it without industry. But the third is, and I put it 3 on purpose, is income. And and there's an incentive for faculty to do it because they do share in the income. In our case, it's 40% of income that's generated. But also, all the other money comes back for other reasons into the university. So again, that other money comes back to support other research, support patient care in the hospital in that environment, and also education. So that money is not more a capitalistic view, it's more of a not-for-profit view. We do incentivize the faculty, but that money does come back in and regenerates the more technology and more inventions. To say that we're on that level of research is a little stretch. But what we can say is, we don't have a lot of patents like they do, but the quality of the patents that are coming out is the issue because they look at the number. They look at the criteria there is the number of patents versus how many patents are issued the previous 5 years. So we are double that. Okay, not a lot, but then they also look at the quality of them and how many people are citing your patents and how many people are you're citing patents and what's the quality of that. So it's in that aspect I think that it's very exciting to see that the work of 5 or 6 years ago we're seeing come to fruition in 2014. The patent process is changing over the last 25 or 30 years because there's so many inventions going on and so much going on in the area of innovation. So we're seeing a lot of backlog in the patent office and the government trying to keep up with that. But right now, if you look at it, it takes anywhere from 4 to 6 years to get a patent. It takes $25,000 or $30,000 to get a U.S. patent. It can take $300,000 plus to get international patents. So because of that, the expense of that, you have to be very choosy in which paths you go. And universities are limited in their budgets, and we have to sort of pick and choose what we think are the best winners, et cetera. And the challenge always is, if it takes, and there's data out there, if it takes 6 to 7 years to get a license from industry, you have to support a patent for 6 or 7 years before it can be licensed. So that's a challenge as well in the process. So it's interesting now in the medical field, patents are very critical because it does take a long time to take a drug to market, and if you're going to spend that much money on a drug to market, you want to have some exclusivity. So a patent is important. Contrast this with healthcare IT. Well, healthcare IT changes every 30 seconds. So a patent isn't worth much if it takes 6 years. So that, in that case, when you're looking at devices and IT, you're looking at first to market, and just the way other high-tech companies work. So big difference between the medical industry, but we see some crossover with medical IT in the process. But patents are very very important to a medical university and how they use them in commercialization. Any kind of investor that looks at a technology they invest in, they want to protect it and mitigate risk. And for a medical product or pharmaceutical product, they won't invest unless there's some kind of protection of exclusivity. It just won't happen. So that's sort of part of what we need to do to make our technologies palatable. Right now, there isn't, I would say, one big trend. I mean, we're seeing universities, industry, and the capital markets looking at all different things. Obviously, mobile health is huge right now, so there's a trend in that area. The pharmaceutical industry is probably on a wane because it takes longer to get a return. It takes longer for stuff to get out into the mainstream. Devices certainly is huge. So I'd say between IT health and devices are the two areas that are being looked at closely in commercialization from industry, looking at academics.